Here we go. Alabama, Western Kentucky, Jalen Milroe. He's the guy leading the charge, and it looks like he's having a good time doing it. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk more about this Alabama football team as they take one step closer to hitting the field Saturday night at 6 o'clock. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate all that, but most importantly, we appreciate you. Roll Tide, everybody. What do you say, everybody? There's Big Sexy Elmo. You saw him, and you guys know that we want you to be a part of what we're doing, including our Facebook page at Bama Tailgate Show. And a lot of you guys have actually swung over there and joined it. So thank you so much. Good to see you, Brett. And it's great to know that Alabama football is right around the corner. And we tell you that we're on the socials as well, at Broadcaster Mick and at Brett Elmore Show. All right, Brett, look, we're going to – hi, buddy.
Hey, pal. I'm doing fine. How are you, Mick?
I'm trying to dig right into this, though. Milroe ready to run things. And what I got to tell you is this. We got to hear from Milroe. They asked him about what the transition's been like, and then having another offensive coordinator, Nick Sheridan, this year. And without an echo, we're going to play this, and then we're going to talk about it. Let's get right into Jalen Milroe, who's going to be running things for Alabama. You ready? Ready? All right, let's see what he has to say.
Number one, he believes in me. He loves me. And I think there's nothing greater than that. You know, beyond any X's and O's and going over schemes, it's the belief system that a coach has in a player. And so you're going to want to play for a coach. You're going to want to do ultimately your best, each and every day, because you have a coach that's behind you and that wants the best for you. And so that's something I've seen, from our, time period of him getting here into now. It's been so much fun. That's the best thing about it, is that football's been fun. And to be around him, it's been awesome. And I just continue to enjoy our relationship.
All right, there it is right there. I like a lot about what he just said, Brett.
And I like the look. I like the look. Throw that back up there. Look at this guy. He looks like a guy that's just went to war on the practice field. Look at this guy.
He does. When did his hair get so long? I didn't realize his hair had grown out. I like long hair.
I know.
You know that.
This guy's rocking it, man. Come on.
He's ready to run things, but what's really cool is that they're having fun. And if you guys, you can imagine, I'm all about having fun. I think you can have fun and do a great job at the same time. And I think it's important to have fun in anything you do, because I think that it translates into the way that you treat the people around you, the experience that you have, the memories that you make. And it's something that this new regime really has brought. Kalen DeBoer is about having fun. And remember the story, Brett, he throws a big touchdown pass in practice heading into the 8A game. He's standing there and his whole team's celebrating. It was a great throw. And Kalen DeBoer's like, why aren't you celebrating with your team? Like it's okay to have fun. Yeah. And it sounds like he's really having fun.
But let me tell you something. Of all the great coaches and all this experience that we've had and all the tradition in Alabama football, from Coach Bryant to Gene Stallings to Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer is the one man that has brought an ice cream truck onto the practice field. And if you can't dig that, you're just not my friend. Come on, man. These guys practice in 105-degree heat and everything, and then an ice cream truck shows up. Come on. Yeah, they're having a lot of fun. But I mentioned yesterday, and I was talking to you off the air. Look, here it is. It's Wednesday. The hay's in the barn. We can talk all day long about this, that, and the other. It's time, man. I can't wait, and I'm going to be there Saturday night. I can't wait for the toe to meet leather and see this product on the field because it's going to be great, man. We've talked all off season about recruits and Coach DeBoer and his staff and everything else. The talking's over with, and I saw some comments yesterday, and thank you for the comments on the cheese part, by the way. But reading the comments, folks are just ready to kick this thing off.
Right.
I mean, we got football coming up tomorrow night, Friday night, and all Labor Day weekend long. Baby, let's celebrate. This is great.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, I'm with you, man. I'm excited. Saturday can't get here fast enough. But it's good to hear that these guys are having fun and they're enjoying what's going on. And I think that it's going to, I mean, look at Washington last year, number 2 overall passing offense. They were a team that got to the national championship game with less talent than any of the other teams there, but they did win their league and they belong there. They beat Texas. They played the game the right way. DeBoer's a nice guy. He likes to have fun, but there's also an intensity that he has too, man. You go back and watch those games that he coached last year and see what he brings to the table. I don't think there's going to be a let up when it comes to schemes and style and intensity. It really feels like that this football team's going to contend with anybody out there. And they're going to have a good time doing it. And I think when you're going out to try to get recruits to come and play for you, having fun and winning, they do go hand in hand. But just to say, like seeing Milroe, and he's like, hey, you know what? I'm having a great time. Like this. He's like, talking about DeBoer. Hey, he's a coach you want to play for, right?
Right.
Somebody that you want to be around every day. You hear Nick Sheridan and Kane Womack, and they're like, hey, he's the same guy at the pool as he is at the football field. Like a great guy. He's got a scheme. Yeah. He's a hard worker. I think there's a lot of big things happening here.
Look, we have a lot to be excited about as Alabama football fans. Jalen Milroe, he gets some naysayers and everything, and we know what Lank means. I believe, and I've said it throughout the offseason, I think this guy's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to play really well. Finally, I'll be so happy to see him catch a snap between here and his waist, okay? I mean, I'll be glad to see that. We have a lot to be excited about as Alabama football fans because we got talent all over the field. And let me tell you something. Saturday, it's going to show up. We're going to dominate. And what's the line right now? What, 30 points? 31 points, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah, I want to see the offensive line dominate. I want to see the run game come through. I want to see Milroe not just hit deep balls, but also attack the mid-range pass with more crispness. I want to see more of a Michael Penix type style where I don't think that Penix has the deep ball ability that Milroe has. I mean, when you talk about like somebody that can, totally stretch the field, although he's a really good passer, but what Penix does is he can make the passes anywhere on the field. Milroe's got to improve in that area. I can't wait to see what that looks like. The wide receiver spot. I mean, there's so many exciting things about this game. I couldn't sit here and talk about it. I mean, it'd be like 20-minute show.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is too, look at the work that Milroe has put in during the offseason. Mm-hmm. We've heard so much about his work ethic. This guy, he's so in. And we hear about, Ty Simpson a lot. And let me tell you something. Ty Simpson, I think, is going to be a very good quarterback. And if something, God forbid, happens and Milroe has to miss a game or two, I feel like, Ty Simpson could step in there. I really do, because it's I think he's worked equally as hard. And can't wait for Saturday night.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. Milroe last year, you forget probably about the year that he had, right? I mean, he can run the ball. He had like over 500 yards rushing and like 12 touchdowns. I mean, can you believe that? 12 touchdowns, and did that on like over 150 carries. He threw for 2,800 plus yards with 23 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And that was there was a learning curve there. I mean, there were times where I said he looked like a deer in the headlights, but he just kept getting better and better as the season progressed. And so I'm just confident, man. I think that you go through the season like he did. You go through the off season. You got a coach now that is basically geared to work with quarterbacks and wide receivers. I think he's just going to do nothing but get better.
Yeah, I mean, he showed a lot of flashes of brilliance last year. And a lot of the miscues really were not his fault. I mean, you take a look at some of those miscues. And you're right. He got better and better throughout the season. Looking forward to it. Like I say, Saturday night cannot get here fast enough.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a touchdown for you.
Yeah.
When do you want to predict your score? When are you gonna tell me what you think the score is going to be? They going to cover 31?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I'm definitely curious to see how they look as far as the defense is concerned. I think I just really feel confident in the offense, man. I think they're going to be explosive.
31. We used to open up with like some sort of ridiculous number like 55.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 31. Yeah, I think we'll cover.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think we're going to cover, man. I think that like Vegas just isn't really sure what to expect with these guys.
No.
And that's a good thing because it's the secondary. I mean, they lose a couple of really good players, but I just think there's a new energy. I think that there's stability with the assistant coaches. I think that you got a whole staff of people that want to be there and that aren't looking for their next job, but are looking to do good with this job. And I feel like Nick Saban kind of got taken advantage of with some of these assistant coaches over the last 5, 6, 7 years where these guys were showing up and it was all about just bouncing to the next thing. Hey, what can this school do for me? And I feel like these guys are seeing what can they do for our school. I think what they can do for the players. Yeah. And I agree
with you. And I tell you what, Mick, you better jump on that 31 because when Pearl River Resort hears about Big Elmo's prediction, that number's going to go up.
Man, we've got a lot to talk about, man. A lot of excitement with the Bama Tailgate show, which we announced today. And Brett, you're going to be a part of that. I'm going to be a part of it. We're taking the original Bama Tailgate show and we're putting it on Classic Rock 106.9. There's the picture right there. We're adding Jake Coker to the show. We'll be in Tuscaloosa to do basically the way that this show works is that we record it Friday and then it airs on Saturday across the state. And so you guys can, if you're in Tuscaloosa, swing by and hang out with us as we do the show. And we're going to bounce around from different places. We were at Innisfree a lot the last few years. We're going to be back there some this year. We're going to be at Unique on the Strip. We're going to be at other places too. So be ready, to hang out with us and come by and help us preview the game. But I'm really excited about adding Jake. I mean, not only does he have the pedigree on the football field, I think he's really good on the air, and I think he's a very fun guy to be around. I'm excited to start this season with you guys.
Looking forward to it, and I just want to say I'm blessed for the opportunity to help and join with you guys. We've got a lot of stations throughout the state. 106.9 will be our flagship station, but you got Live 95 in Coleman. Let's see, you got Huntsville, right? And 97.7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in Jasper, on my station, WJLX. We in Pensacola, right?
Yeah, Pensacola, Fox Sports Radio there, WNSP. Jake and I actually have a show on Mondays from 12 to noon at NSP. That's kind of like, because we live down right in there. So I'm on one side of the bay, he's on the other, but adding that station was really cool. Love the guys in Pensacola, Tom Abraham up north. You own a whole bunch of stations.
Yeah. We'll be on in Haleyville on my other station, 92.7. We'll be on in Anniston, our friend Walt Williams over there.
Walt.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And my friend Michael Butler down in the Tallahassee, Montgomery area will be on WTLS down there. So adding more stations and looking forward to it. And I tell you, man, it's exciting.
Yeah, well, you've been a great partner and all this stuff, man, and all you guys that are hanging out with us too. I mean, this started as the Tailgate show, and then we just started doing a daily show just to see if we could do it, and you guys started watching it. So we were like, hey, if we do it tomorrow, maybe they'll watch it again. But everything's built up around the Tailgate show, which is going to air, obviously Saturday across the state. You can watch it here on Friday as we do the recording. So you're going to be like, hey, why are these guys acting like it's Saturday? They're saying tomorrow, today when it's really tomorrow. That's because that's just the way we do it, so that we can send it out. And the thing about football is
the magic of radio.
Yeah, the hay's in the barn. I mean, you get to Friday, and I mean, things are pretty much set, Yeah. But we're going to have a good time doing it, and we hope that some of you guys come and hang out. And I'm really excited about all the great things that we got going on, man. We started doing it like this during COVID, where we always used to do it live. But then when you have different stations that want to air it at different times, and it's just turned out to be a really good fit for us. So that's one thing. Another thing is newlifeart.com. Use the promo code Bama Tailgate right now, and you get 19% off when you buy something there at newlifeart.com. Daniel Moore, get the prints, pimp out your man cave like Brett's got. I've got my studio covered in Daniel Moore's. I love it. Everything that he does is fantastic. But he's got mugs, he's got the small prints, the big prints, great gifts. When people come over and they look at them, it's like, hey, whether you were at the game or a memory of a game maybe from the past. But right now, the drive for 19 now until kickoff, 31 August 31st, you get 19% off. They win the game. I'm going to extend it through Labor Day. So join us right here and take advantage of that. Bama Tailgate, when you go to check out at New Life Art, hit that and you'll get that 19% discount. I love that one. The other thing is, and that's not a small thing. I mean, the reason that we get to do all this is Pearl River Resort, man. They from the minute that I started doing the Tailgate show, they've been on board, and they are a great partner, and they are really fun to hang out with. They got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course over in Pearl River. It's an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, really close anywhere in Alabama. And I know some of you guys are telling me you've been over there, you're having a good time, man. Do it. Like, get the guys together, maybe a guys' weekend. Maybe the ladies are like, hey, we want to have a weekend over there. Do it. You got the spa, you got the water park, Geyser Falls. Dancing Rabbit Golf Course is amazing. Go over to Golden Moon Casino, the sports books, just like they had out in Vegas. Brett and I hung out at some of the ones in Vegas, and I looked at Brett at one point, and I was like, hey, the Pearl River Resort sports book's better than this. Like, I'm just telling you. Now, I know we're in Vegas, but it's just better. I mean, it's comfortable. The prices are great. You got the kiosks if you want that. You got the window if you want to do it that way. You can bet on anything over there. And then if you spend $50, you can go play Dancing Rabbit Golf Course for $40. So find out for yourself. Pearl River Resort also got some great acts coming up. Rodney Carrington at the end of the month. And then you got Gary Allen. You got Scotty McCrary. So some big acts cruising in for the fall, celebrating 30 years at Pearl River Resort. All right, when we come back, Brett's going to take over the show. This should be interesting, except I got to say, Brett forgot National Crab Soup Day yesterday. I'm so ashamed of him for that. Of all the things that ever happened on this show, for him not know that it was National Crab Soup Day, we'll talk about that after this. Shame on you, Brett. Shame.
To Pearl River Resort. They call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. looking out your mom's window without getting caught. Licking to the FB, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate show.
There he
28th
is.
day of August, my friend. 28th day.
How did you miss National Crab Soup Day?
I'm sorry. And I wanted to do the replay of the rock, paper, scissors. You cheated. You cheater. I
You get
spent
one
all
shot.
day. I looked at it on slow-mo, and you were like, and I was like, no.
You get one shot at the champ. Didn't you ever watch Ric Flair wrestle? You don't get a bunch of shots at the champ. You get that one shot.
God,
Woo!
you kill me, man. That's terrible.
Rolex wearing.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
All right. The birthdays today. One of your favorite figure skaters, Scott Hamilton, 66 today.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Just look at you.
Okay.
Jack Black. What a funny guy. Tenacious D. And of course, he's in School of Rock and Shallow Hal. I love Shallow Hal when he can't see how big the girl is he's dating, and he holds up the underwear, and it's like this way. Yeah, it's great. He's 55
line.
today.
He hasn't aged well though, man. Like he looks. Have you seen him lately? Like he looks terrible. Like it's almost like he went into a time machine, and he looks like he's 100 now.
Well, I mean,
I like him. I like him. I'm just saying.
It's just one of those things. Jennifer Coolidge, the actress, she was in Legally Blonde. She was in she was Stifler's mom in American Pie, so everybody knows now.
Oh yeah, I love her. Yeah,
63 today.
I saw her. I want to say it was on Howard Stern, and she was like, she kind of lived that character after the movies, and she was proud of it. Like she was like, she had a lot of younger guys that she was dating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good for her. She was a babe. I mean,
Can you imagine the stories though? Like, hey man, I was out in LA and I ran into Stifler's
mom. Yeah. She was one. I think they call them MILFs. Anyway, Leanne Rhymes, 42 today.
Have you ever heard the dirty comment? They're gonna be mad.
Have you ever? Hey Nick, have you ever had a MILF or a GILF? Shania Twain is 59 today. If you look at
speaking of, and whose bed have your boots been under?
Yeah,
you know that song?
Shania Twain, MILF, love it. Come on, baby. Come on over to Bill Gelmo's house. Oh my goodness, show you a good time.
Oh, nobody's gonna turn everybody
good time.
off.
Brett's got the blues. Let's go. Today is National Bow Tie Day. You can rock a bow tie. I've seen it.
I've done it a few times, man. I'm not one of these guys that like I know some guys that have like gotten into bow ties. Like, well, they're like, hey, man, this bow tie thing is caught on. I love it. I've never been one of those guys, but if I wear a tuxedo, I'll wear a bow tie. My son went through this stage. He used to like this show with a character named Stingy. And he would take all my bow ties and he would like walk around the house with a bow tie on like every day.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Like a red bow tie. And then I had to go somewhere and go get my bow ties and they're just ruined, like he's sleeping in them.
Well,
they're all
at
stretched
least
out.
He had fun. You wasn't wearing them much. Come on, give me a break. Today's National Red Wine Day. I heard that's good for your heart.
Yeah, I'm not a red wine guy, but I wouldn't turn a glass down right now.
I tell you what, I've had some wine before in my life, and whew, it's a little stout for me.
Mm-hmm.
A little stout for me. I don't like it.
I don't believe that.
Today is
Today's what?
National Thoughtful Day. Be thoughtful.
Yeah, be thoughtful, man. You're a thoughtful friend. People that don't know you, might not know that, but Brett's a great guy. He really does go out of his way for his friends. And him and I had a mutual great friend, but his best friend, guy that was like my big brother. Always heard about how great Brett is as a friend, and then now we've gotten to know each other. And I agree, man. I try to be a lot more like you every day, because you're the type of person that you just enjoy doing things for other people, man. Thank you.
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Do I owe you money or what? What's the deal?
I was being thoughtful.
The only time you'll be thoughtful on the show.
I'm serious. I'm being serious, though. Yeah,
I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate your friendship too, Big. The 1907, the U.S. Postal Service, founded in Seattle.
Postal Service, man, I've got a P.O. box because we have a post office in my neighborhood, and I just want to support it. I don't necessarily know that I need a P.O. box, but I just think it's cool that, at the end of the street, there's our own little P.O. box. But I got to tell you, man, it's gotten a little expensive, but the service is good. Like, I'm not always a big fan of government services, but this one, like, I get an email every time something's coming in the mail, and it's got a picture of the stuff that's coming in my mailbox, so I know what's coming. And the postmaster, in the post, it's a really small post office. He knows everybody, which is pretty cool. And I put a mailbox up at my house. They didn't even have one when I got there, so I got two places to get mail, and they both do a good job. And the mail lady, we kind of know the mail lady, so
that's nice. I mean, that's what happens when you live in a rich neighborhood. I mean, you have your own little post office there, and I have to go downtown, and I fight through the traffic, and I'm like, but actually, I have two post office boxes, and I don't even know why I have two. I had one for years and years and years. Then I inherited another one, and I'm like,
right.
Well, how are you gonna anyway? Let's see here. What else is going on? 1929, actress Roxy Roker. She was Helen from The Jeffersons, and Lenny Kravitz's mother was born. She passed away, of course, at the age of 66 back in 1995. You know who I'm talking about, Roxy Roker.
Yeah. Look, man, she was like America's mom.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter. Like, you could be white, black, you could be, Latino. The Jeffersons were kind of like your family. I mean, you'd watch the Jeffersons. George was awesome. I mean, he's like everybody's dad. And then Wheezy, just always was like just a great TV mom, and that show was fantastic. I mean, I used to watch that show on reruns. I don't remember it being live, but and she was on a lot of other stuff. She was a good actress, but she's believable. I mean, I think that's the most important thing about actresses or actors is like they're believable. I didn't realize she died that young, but I love the Jeffersons, man. That was one of my shows I used to watch the Babysitters on reruns.
And finally, we will end on this note because this is a big day in American history. 1963, 200,000 people participated in a peaceful civil rights rally in Washington, D.C., where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech in front of the Lincoln Memorial. That was this day, 1963.
Yeah, can you imagine being there for that? Man. Like to see that, and
I would have loved to.
Man, I just wish that we don't really do we don't really do that stuff anymore like they used to. Like I see all these wars, and I'm like, man, we should figure out a way to get along and not kill each other. And I don't care where it is in the world. You know that I'm pretty passionate about that. And when you see leaders, whether it be MLK or any of these guys that are able to bring people together with peace and love, it's an amazing thing. And his legacy is something that, like, my kid comes home from school, he's got a picture that he's drawn of Martin Luther King, and he's still an impact there. I'm listening to U2 the other day, and that song Pride comes on, and you start thinking about the impact that this guy had. And even an assassin's bullet really couldn't do anything about it, and it's tough. I say this all the time, man. It's to get up and be a leader and to to go against the popular opinion at the time, or to go against the regime that's in charge or whatever, right, is tough. And a lot of people have been killed doing that, and so, but the greats, he might have been killed, but he never died. His legends live on, and then he's definitely one. So that's crazy. I didn't realize that was today. Now I do know, just to kind of change the subject before we get off here, I do know that yesterday was National Crab Soup Day, and we kind of skipped over that one, but I wanted to throw in that I love crab soup. I put my crab traps out in Mobile Bay, or I go down to the Billy's Seafood. I'll get my crabs there sometimes. There's another little place, Antigua or whatever it's called, like right next door. Get my crabs, and then I steam them Maryland style. And then the ones that I don't eat, I get the meat for them, and then we turn those in the crab soup. So in the freezer right now, I've got 3 bags of crab soup in there.
Wow,
Brett, and I'm willing to share one with you. I love crab soup, and so that was actually yesterday, but we forgot to do that one. So
I'm sorry about that, Mick. That sounds like a lot of places that you caught crabs from. Anything else you want to add to that?
Well, there's 2 different really distinct styles of crab soup. There's like the chowder style soup, with the thick white sauce, or there's the Maryland style, which is kind of like a tomato based, and it's like it's almost vegetable. It's vegetable style, and then you put Old Bay in there, and then you put some Worcestershire in there, and then hot sauce goes in there.
There was a place when I was down there last, I dined at in Mobile with like the world famous crab. They had some really good crab soup.
Felix's? Did you go to Felix's?
Yeah, Felix's. Yeah,
that's it.
It was really good. But
mine's better.
That's a lot of places to catch crabs, and I know you travel a lot, and I'm glad you found all the good spots to catch them.
I'll leave you guys
with history.
Yeah, roll tide, everybody.